Hi, Bill Cullen here, slipping out the welcome mat for another edition of Cullen's Adventures. The project at hand this time being a bit of time traveling back to November the 5th, 1605. If you've ever been in England at this time of year, you may have heard the youngsters over there reciting a jingle that starts out like this. Oh, don't you remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot. Well, in case you haven't been to England and don't remember the 5th of November, we'll have the full anniversary details for you in just a moment. Our program is presented as a special service by this station and is furnished by Grolier Incorporated, publishers of the Book of Knowledge, the foremost children's encyclopedia for more than 50 years. Now for that 5th of November story. The year was 1605. To help orient you in time a bit, that was 15 years before the landing of the Pilgrims on Plymouth Rock. 2 years before Captain John Smith set up his American settlement in Jamestown. 2 years after the death of Queen Elizabeth. When Elizabeth died at the ripe old age of 70, she named as her heir James, the son of Mary, Queen of Scots. The government agreed, and so it was that James VI of Scotland became also James I of England. The two countries were at last on the way to union. At least the same man was king north and south of the Scottish border. Well, James, like many a British monarch before him and a few after, believed in the old theory of the divine right of kings, and that he'd been chosen to rule not merely by Queen Elizabeth, but by God. If such was the case, he reasoned, he also had the right to rule as he pleased, a notion that didn't set kindly with many of his people. He clashed with them often, particularly over the issues of religion and taxes. He opposed freedom of religion. He loved taxes and levied new ones whenever the royal cupboard was bare, much to the dismay of Parliament, which felt that only the members of Parliament had power to levy taxes. These three questions, the divine right of kings, religion, and taxation, caused trouble for years. The general discontent came dramatically to a head 2 years after James' coronation in the form of what historians now refer to simply as the Gunpowder Plot, scheduled to take place exactly 259 years ago today. As the Book of Knowledge describes it, it was a highly involved plan to kill the king and members of the House of Lords and Commons by blowing up the Palace of Westminster with gunpowder hidden in the cellars. Well, laying the groundwork took many, many months and involved a large number of people. But the key man, the one assigned actually to light the fatal match, was an ex-soldier named Guy Fawkes. The plot was discovered just in the nick of time, and Fawkes and most of his co-conspirators were caught and put to death. But the matchlighter's name is still well remembered in the British Isles. Not honored, but remembered by way of a special holiday today, Guy Fawkes Day, on which youngsters have a custom of burning the plotter in effigy, singing as they put the match to the fire the jingle, "Oh, don't you remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot." And that's the story. Before we go, here's an invitation for parents. If you'd like to receive a sampling of some more interesting facts and figures that we've talked about on the show in booklet form, a booklet put together with the youngsters in the family in mind, let us hear from you. There's no charge for it. All we need is your name and address on a postcard. Mail it to Cullen's Adventures, Box 3400, Grand Central Station, New York City, New York, 10017, and we'll send the booklet right out. I'll be back again tomorrow with another of these Cullen's Adventure segments furnished by Grolier Incorporated, publishers of the Book of Knowledge. Until then, thank you and goodbye for now.